Hi friends, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, my name is Avery. I'm a full-time adventure filmmaker and I've just finished a 2,200 mile bikepacking trip from the Canadian border to the Mexico border on a $100 bike. So I want to take a quick minute to run you through my setup. I'll go through each bag and kind of show you what I've brought. This is a 1995 stump jumper that I bought on Facebook Marketplace for $100. It's an old 26-inch steel mountain bike, and I've pretty much completely retrofitted it for bikepacking. So up front, I've got Schwalbe Marathon Plus mountain bike tires. These are inner tubed, but they have a Kevlar liner, and I've gone the entire trip without a single puncture. So yeah, double thumbs up for me. Up top, I replaced the handlebars, so these are a little bit wider and they've got some good back sweep. I did new brake pads. I've got some new pedals, a new saddle. This is a Brooks C17, which is like the B17 classic touring saddle, but it's plastic or cambium, which means it doesn't need to, you don't need to worry about it getting wet, which is really nice. Okay, so I'm just gonna run through the different bags that I've got on here and why I chose these over like a classic bike touring setup. So I have nothing on the forks up here, as you can see, and that really helps with riding in really narrow trails and sometimes even like on sidewalks. But on the back, I do have a rack with a backpack on top, and that has been really nice to be able to add extra capacity for food and whatnot if I need to be kind of off-grid for a couple days at a time. Up front, I've got my electronics bag. This is just an old North Face hip bag. I've got a big double-ended dry bag, a couple water bottle holders, frame bag, a water bottle cage, and I call this my water tank. Most days I ride with it empty, but it's just a big 1.5 liter bottle that I can fill up if I need to have extra water for a while. And in the back, again, the rack with my backpack and thermarest. Okay, so now I'm gonna go through each bag and run you through what I've packed. This is just an old hip bag that I found at an outdoor gear shop, and it's not really attached on here. I've pretty much just looped it around the handlebars and clipped it in place, but it stays put pretty well. And the nice thing with that is that if I need to hike the bike up something really steep, I can just take this off, and if I'm going into a cafe, I can just unclip it really quick, and all of my expensive stuff is in here. So diving in on the outside, I have my big camera. This is a Fujifilm X-T3. Just covered up in a bit of tape to protect it, and a 16mm lens. And then I've got a Rode Video Micro. This thing sounds really great for how small it is, and it's super durable. This one's like 5 years old, and it's been amazing. And then just a couple spare batteries. In the main pocket, I've just got everything basically tossed in here. It's not the best system, but it's been working pretty well. I've got a GoPro. This is the Hero 8, I think, with the windscreen cover and a tripod mount. This is a big, giant 30,000 milliamp hour power bank, and everything that I have runs off USB, so this is really nice to be able to charge up quick and then power everything. In this little sandwich bag, I have my passport and a couple other little pieces of paper and pen, and 2 terabyte solid state SSD drive to back up all my pictures and video footage. I've got a whole bunch of cables. This is a Lightning and a USB-C cable, a big dongle dock thing for my iPad. This is super nice. There's like a million different plugs on here. I've got a little cheap Bluetooth keyboard, again for the iPad. This basically just turns my iPad Pro, which is right in the back here, into a little laptop, so I can edit footage and video and everything on here. And then the last couple things in here, I've got a wall plug, my AirPods, another cable, and then on the outside I have a Garmin InReach. I think this is the Messenger. Yep. This is just a satellite communicator and SOS device, and I keep that on the outside so it's really easy to get to. And on the other side, I've got a international wall plug adapter, and this is really nice because it has USB ports on the bottom as well. My double-ended Revel 8 dry bag up front, I have a whole bunch of clothes and my sleeping bag, and I'll pull that stuff out now. And this is nice because it has an opening like this on each end. So for my clothes, I've got, between what I'm wearing, which is just shorts, and my riding jersey, I have a long sleeve pullover. These are my cycling shorts. desperately need to be washed. I've got a fold-up travel towel. This is really nice though because it's big, so it's actually big enough to be like a beach towel. I've got one merino wool t-shirt, and I really just have one t-shirt and then my jersey, and that's been plenty, but this is nice because it's wool and it does not get smelly. I have a pair of lightweight hiking pants. These are Kilpie. And then finally I have a beanie. This is really nice because it's warm, but more importantly, if I'm camping at a campground where it's really bright or anything, I can pull this down over my eyes and sleep a lot better. And then way down in the back here, I have my rain jacket. This has been buried. I have not worn this once. No, that's a lie. I have worn it once when it was cold, but not because it rained. This is also Kilpie. It's pretty heavy duty and bigger than I needed for a trip like this, but it was nice to have as peace of mind. And I forgot, buried way down in the very middle of the bag, I have another pair of socks. These are my camp socks, a little buff that I haven't used once, and another pair of underwear. And these are also merino wool. Again, would highly recommend. They're super comfortable and really don't get smelly. On the other end of this dry bag is my sleeping bag. And this is really nice because it's really easy to get to. In here I have my inflatable pillow. This is really nice. It's just like 2 breaths and it's super comfortable. Definitely worth the wait. And then this is a 0 degrees Celsius or 32 down sleeping bag. It's just one of the cheaper ones, but it's been working really well. Yeah, it's been great for the weather. It's been a little bit chilly up in the mountains, but luckily have been able to survive wearing all my other clothes. This dry bag up front is secured under here with a handlebar extender and a couple of volley straps. If you don't have any of these, they're pretty much the best thing in the world. I have like 4, you'll see I have extras, and they attach anything to pretty much anywhere. And this is a Revel 8 salty roll, I think. It's the Revel 8 double-ended dry bag. For my cockpit setup, I've got my little bike computer, and I just use this for the odometer. These super ugly looking things are they're forearm rests from a set of tri-bars that I had to take off. But I left these here, and I can kind of rest my hands like this on a flat, straight road, or even all the way down in a headwind, which is really nice. This bag is kind of awkward. Like I have 4 different bags on here, and they're all kind of funny spots. But in here I have a knife for cutting vegetables, my spork, a little bag of electrolyte stuff that I haven't used, a fake Leatherman that I found on the side of the road that's covered in rust, but it's pretty sweet, a little lens cloth, multi-tool, and a couple of coins I found, including an old $1 coin. Oh, and a little shell. So under here, I have my water mostly. On this side, I have a full liter Nalgene, and under there, this is really clever, I found, is my titanium pot. This is a 750 milliliter Tokes pot, and it fits perfectly with Nalgene in there, and that goes into here. And these actually are not handlebar bags. These are climbing chalk bags that I got on Amazon for like $10 for 2 of them, and I just zip tied them to the handlebars. And on the other side, I have my bear spray. Luckily, I've only had to use this once on not a bear, not a person, but a raccoon that was trying to get into my tent, and I basically had to fend off at 3 in the morning. And another bottle of water. And sometimes under here I keep extra straps and snacks and stuff. These handlebar bags are really nice. And then moving back a little bit, I have a Revel 8 gas tank, something or another, I forget what it's called exactly. But in here I usually keep my drone, and typically there's more snacks under here. But like I said, I just finished up my trip. I'm in San Diego right now, and it's all out of snacks. I have an REI top tube bag put in kind of a weird spot under my seat. It rubs on my legs a little bit, but it works. And in here I have the controller for the drone. Moving down to my frame bag, this is just a cheaper Moose Trex, I think is the brand. Had it for a while, and it's actually been pretty great. In the top, like I said, I'm a little bit low on food because I just finished up the trip. But normally I'd have like some tortillas, this is a bag of oats, peanut butter, garlic salt. This is veggie stock, like for making soup. And normally I'd have a gas canister in here and more food, but that's typically it. Any canned food I usually keep in here just to keep the weight a little bit lower. And like I said, a whole bunch of spare straps. And big shout out to Dollar Tree. That's where pretty much all of my food comes from. It's like the perfect spot for cycling food because I need to eat so much during the day. Moving down though, I have in the second compartment my lock. This is a folding ABIS lock, basically like a U-lock, but a little bit easier to use. I have a pump with some Gorilla Tape wrapped around it. Dry lube for the chain. A spare, this is a snow stake that I use for digging cat holes if I need to go take a dump in the woods. A whole bunch of zip ties. This is a heavy duty tire lever, and having like a nice solid one is really nice because otherwise they just snap all the time. And then this is basically a bag of spare parts and more tools. Got a chain breaker, spoke tool, a wrench, some pipe clamps, and basically just a couple extra nuts and bolts. The back of the bike, I'll show you what I've got strapped on here on the rack. First, on the back of the seat tube, I keep my two lights. This is a rear light and a front light. I just leave them here because I don't need them very often. This is a license plate that I found on the side of the road, and I use this to strap my flip-flops onto, again with a volley strap. Up here, this is pretty cool. This is a carbon fiber tripod I found. It was really cheap and it's really lightweight, which is nice. But it extends out to be fairly tall, which is nice. I've got a little solar lantern for the tent at night, and I just leave that on top so it can charge during the day. I have my Thermarest. This is nothing fancy, it's just an old Thermarest Pro Light. And now I'll pull this backpack off the rack and show you what's inside. The backpack's attached with these ratchet strap style like motorcycle straps. These are really handy. And I found that a backpack is a good option because you get a lot of capacity without having anything on the sides of the bike. And this is nice because I can take it off and wear it as a backpack if I need to hike a bike. So inside on top, again, this is a little bit emptier than it might normally be because I'm mostly out of food. But I've got a titanium frying pan. This is also non-stick, and I use it as a bowl for oatmeal. This is a first aid kit, some like vitamins and some laundry sheets, like detergent. My toiletry bag, pretty standard, just like toothbrush, deodorant, that kind of thing. In here I have got some food, but this is mostly like kitchen stuff. It's super messy and not organized because, like I said, everything's kind of destroyed right now, and this is a very real look into what it's like. But I've got my stove. This is a tiny little backpacking stove, but it's been pretty awesome. It's titanium, little mini bit lighter. This is a packet of tea and seasoning. Got like some sugar packets, some hot cocoa, tea, hot sauce, salt and pepper packets. And then in here I've got a dish scraper and brush. This little MSR thing. It was like $4 at REI. I love this thing. This is one of my favorite little devices. This is a coffee pour over, and it's metal, so it can't break, and you never need to clean it. Moving farther down, I have 2 packets of Knorr sides. This is a good option because you can actually cook them in the bags. You just pour in boiling water and let it sit for like 10 minutes. Then I've got my Helinox Chair Zero. I got this for a really good deal for my friend. Otherwise, I might not bring a chair bikepacking, especially on the coast where there's campgrounds, but in the backcountry where there's not really anywhere to sit, this is nice to be able to just prop it up and make dinner and be able to sit on something besides the ground. Then I keep my tent poles in here and stakes. Then for the tent, I am rocking, this is new for this trip. I keep it in a dry bag in case it's wet in the morning. This is a tarp tent Pro Trail. It was $300 US after tax and shipping, and it only weighs like 600 grams, which is wild. It's been flawless. I've used it almost every night for the last 2 months, and I love it. Okay, the last couple things. I've got a pair of chopsticks because you never know when you're gonna need chopsticks. This is an exercise band to be able to do some stretching and workouts off the bike using my upper body if I need to. I have a spare 15-liter dry bag if I need to add capacity, like for food or anything, and just drop this on somewhere. And then this is a 2-liter water bladder, again, just to add capacity. And then this is just a spare inner tube tied up with a volley strap. And under the backpack, I have this is just pretty standard, cheap rack from Amazon. And this is a piece of foam that I zip tied on to keep the straps out of my wheel and to protect the backpack a little bit. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully that's been some good inspiration for you trying to piece together your own bikepacking rig. I love the setup. It's been great. So far there's a couple little things I changed here and there, but I think the backpack on the rear rack is a really good way to go, just with extra capacity and being able to have the backpack off the bike. If you want to see some of the content from this trip, make sure to subscribe and check out my other videos. I'll have at least one more coming out soon. Otherwise, stay tuned and I'll see you next time.